Wow, big room.
It is.
Lots of people.
Thank you for coming. I'm Dr. Frank Aycock from Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina in the United States.
And I'm Michael Rofe. I lived in Japan for 22 years. I love this country, and we've got something to tell you about freedom. We hope you agree with us. Frank, you're going to come back later, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, I have this whole stage to myself. Wonderful, hey? Thank you very much for coming to TEDxMeieki. This is a fantastic organization here. I think they've done a very, very, very good job. They've brought a lot of people together to hear some very, very interesting things. What can be more interesting than freedom? I think we all love freedom. We all love freedom? But it's a work in progress. Yes? No? It's a work in progress. I think we'd have to agree it's a work in progress. But look at this today. Free speech. That's very, very important. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we going to go? Okay. So I think that's an introductory slide, isn't it, in Japanese? ごめん、22年ぐらい住んでるんで、でも日本語全然喋れない。I'm going to speak in English, if you don't mind. So I'm going to get my notes out here. It's pretty difficult to do this when you can't actually read it. Okay, but you're going to agree with me here. Freedom's the most important part of our life. It's something we cherish, something that we want to protect, and we will protect it. So what is freedom? There's some definitions. Freedom is the, excuse me, I'm getting old. Has this happened to you yet? No, okay. The state of being free or at liberty, exemption from external control, influence, interference, or regulation. The power to determine action without restraint. Personal liberty. It is the freedom to think. It is the freedom to write. It is the freedom to present. It is the freedom to communicate. Freedom. I'm going to pause here, because it all sounds like words, but you were reading the Japanese. I hope. The freedom to move. The freedom to love. The freedom to cry. The freedom to breathe. And the freedom to fly. The list is truly endless. It's an ocean. But we have to protect it. What's the most important part of freedom? I believe, this is my personal opinion, the most important part of freedom is the freedom to choose. Choice is pure freedom. You know, we're pretty inventive as humans. We create structures to amplify our freedoms. I'm standing on one now. Aichi University. Thank you very much, Aichi Daigaku, for TEDxMeieki. But there's another one that I'm stood in right now. You all came here. You all made a choice. So, the structures that we can use vary from universities to TEDx, using the internet, one of the most powerful structures we have at our disposal as humans to communicate. But we used to use networks before. We were forced to, we had no choice. We needed water. We needed food. And from that base, we built civilizations. And we're grasping for that freedom. And we're still grasping. each and every one of us in this room. And then we decided rivers weren't good enough. We're going to build canals. Actually, this picture, 私の母、この映像は大好きです。England, 私の国, my country. Bolter's Lock in England, 18, I don't know, somebody who's doing fine arts, tell me. A hive of activity on a Sunday day. But it was a network. We've used railways to amplify our freedoms. Sometimes we don't build them big enough. And we've used freeways. Freeways. And we've used airways. And we use airways a lot. So I'm going to pause here and think about changes to those structures with you. If you come with me on a little journey, let's have a look at another structure. This one is really important. This is the big picture. That's the most important thing that we have currently as a structure, protecting our freedoms. And it's a work in progress. But how is this going to change? Well, we see something happening. We want to talk about it. We want people to think about this, because it's a large change. Let's have a look at how the railways in Japan have changed. Beautiful station in Tokyo. Tokyo Station, everyone? Anyone been to Tokyo Station? Show of hands? Yep, pretty much everybody in the room here has been to Tokyo Station. Isn't it beautiful? You guys have done a fantastic job of restoring that station. That's the first ever steam train in this country, the SL-150, built in England. Your networks have changed a great deal. The train that I rode on this morning is very fast. So what's going to happen now? This is the Tokyo network. It's a huge network. It's a series of hubs. I like to talk about the hubs in Tokyo. Shin Hotel. Anyone? Shin Hotel? New Hotel. Shinjuku, sorry. What about pond bags? Pond bags, anyone? Ikebukuro? And Black Eye, Meguro, actually not such a big hub, but things are changing in the hubs in Tokyo. Freedom of choice is being amplified there. We used to use our rail networks to visit destinations. They were department stores. But that's changed. I think we can learn a lesson from that. Content is moving into the network. Ekinaka malls, growing up in the hub stations in Tokyo, are doing more business per square meter than any department store in Tokyo. Something else is changing. The internet is changing. The cloud is allowing us to do things that we've never done before. Storage and compute are heading towards the very core of the internet. This is fantastic news. Why? Well, let's have a look at television, another source of freedom of communication. I can see lots of cameras. This message doesn't stay here today, it goes onto the internet. Folk that couldn't get here today can see it. You coming here was a practical application of your choice, your freedom. And that message gets amplified again. You'll tell your friends, hey, you should see some of those presentations at TEDxMeieki. Man, they did some really good things there. And more people get to hear about this. So why is it important? What are we seeing? We see storage and compute going to the center of the internet. That's going to change a lot of things. It's going to mean The destinations are not necessarily the department stores, the broadcasters, or not necessarily the clouds around the outside of the internet, like Netflix, Amazon, powered. Those are clouds at the outside of the internet. What I'm seeing and what we're seeing is cloud TV going into the core of the internet. We see the birth of IXP clouds. We see the birth of the content-aware web. And as a friend of mine from America is going to tell you a little bit more about cloud TV. And you've met him before. His name is Frank. Frank, come on up. It's your time.
Thank you, Michael. I need to get a clicker.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Konnichiwa, everyone.
Okay.
Sorry, that's about all the Japanese I know.
I had to ad-lib.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Michael has pointed out to you, television has exploded in various and sundry ways. This explosion has led us to the ability to have a number of freedoms for both the television audience and the television industry. Now you might ask yourself, what does television and freedom, how do they go together? Well, you have to understand that 21st century television is at the core fundamentally about freedom, and it's the technologies of 21st century television that will deliver those freedoms. Now, one of the ways these freedoms will be delivered is through, as Michael said, television in the cloud. Quickly, a little bit of history for you. First of all, of course, there was the television. Later on, we've had cloud computing come on the scene. Now, television and the cloud are meant for each other. And so today, the world is on the cusp of television and the cloud. And it is that union of those technologies that make those freedoms possible. Now, let's move on. You might be asking yourself, what is television in the cloud? Or what is even a cloud? The ultimate cloud is the internet. Surrounding the internet are the smaller clouds. Notice that all clouds have to be connected to the internet for them to function. Now, in reality, all clouds are simply warehouses full of racks of servers. Think of a server as simply a large hard drive on which you store data. Anyone can access this easily. The data is safe, and it can be accessed anywhere you can get an internet connection. Now let's look at the freedoms. First for the viewer, and then we'll look at the freedoms that are available for the industry. The first of these is the freedom to be able to watch television as you choose. This allows you the opportunity to watch it whether you are watching it, whether you're watching it on a tablet, whether you're watching it on a TV set, whether you're watching it on your smartphone, your mobile phone. It's also about the ability to watch at home or on a bus or on a train or on a plane. It's your choice as to where you will watch television. Second, it is the freedom from tyrannies. Tyrannies, you might ask, yes, tyrannies. It's freedom from the tyranny of appointment viewing. No longer will you have to wait until 9 o'clock on a Wednesday night to be able to see your program. You'll be able to see it anytime, anywhere. The second is the freedom from scheduling. When you have television all the time, you don't have to worry about when it's scheduled for. It's scheduled for that Wednesday night at 9 o'clock. The third is the freedom from the tyranny of having to have limited choices. Today, the television viewer is held hostage by the programmer. It is the programmer that decides when we watch our show. You miss it, and you may wait weeks or months to be able to see it again. With cloud television, it's available to you all the time. It's your choice as to when you will watch it. The fourth is the freedom from the tyranny of the DVR. How many times have you ever used a DVR to record a program that you are going to miss because you're traveling somewhere? Or there are two shows that you want to watch, so you have to record one. Cloud television has television there available for you all the time. All of your programs are there. You don't even need a DVR anymore. And finally, it is the freedom from the package. Now, ladies and gentlemen, throughout most of the world, pay television in the form of cable and satellite is the way television is delivered to the home. You have to purchase a package that has 100, 200, even 500 channels just to get the 5 or 10 that you want. Cloud television eliminates those packages because it's available all the time. The third is the freedom to enjoy advertising, the advertising that you want and not the advertising that the programmer wants to give you. You can enjoy just the advertising that makes sense for you. And finally, it's the freedom to be able to watch programming on the go so that you can enjoy it no matter where you are, unencumbered by time, space, or even the lack of television. This may be the ultimate goal for 21st century television, is to allow you to enjoy your television, all of your television, in the way that you want to. Now, those are the freedoms for the viewer, but there are also freedoms for the television industry. And those include the following. First, they have the freedom from scheduling as well. They don't have to worry about when to schedule a program because guess what? It's already there for you. It's also the freedom for the industry to be able to reach out and connect with you, to know what you like, and so be able to deliver that. It's also good, it's a freedom to enjoy the ability to make those viewers happy, to give them what they want so that they will become loyal to those programs and to those content providers. Fourth, it is the freedom to make money, lots and lots and lots of money, more money than they've made before, through advertising that works and works for everybody, the viewer, the content provider, and the advertiser as well. And finally, it is the freedom from boundaries, local, regional, national, and even international boundaries. You have the opportunity to reach your audiences anywhere in the world that they are. Ladies and gentlemen, 21st century television, if there is a rallying cry for 21st century television, truly it is freedom. Arigato.